Thank you, Peter. You've actually given my talk, made a wonderful summary, so I'll probably sit down if I can. But that's absolutely right what you said. And good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming along and supporting this inaugural AMEC investor briefing. Today, I'm going to talk to you about Havilah Resources multi-commodity projects in the northeast of South Australia. Just a disclaimer here, I will be making quite a few forward-looking statements, which is in my habit as a geologist, and please be aware of the limitations of those. So Havilah has two substantial 100% owned copper-gold critical minerals projects, namely Kalkaroo, which is located about 53 kilometres north of the main highway, and Mutooroo, which is located 16 kilometres to the south. We have over 9,000 square kilometres of surrounding tenure, which is highly prospective, part of the Curnamona Province. As you'll see, we're in proximity to the main Adelaide-Sydney highway here, Broken Hill just over here, and also the Transcontinental Railway line. So logistics is very favourable. It's outback pastoral country. This picture shows a small portion of our Kalkaroo property, which Havilah owns. Kalkaroo Homestead in the distance, the Barrier Highway way to the south, and the Kalkaroo ore body sits underneath this sandplain area. And we've been working out there for over 20 years, so we have a great legacy of knowledge, and we've been very successful in expanding resources over the years. Our flagship project is Kalkaroo, and it's one of the largest undeveloped open-pit copper-gold deposits in Australia. In truth, we don't really know the size of Kalkaroo because every drill section at depth is open, still open, and it's open both ends. So it's really limited by our lack of drilling. Comprehensive studies done by Oz Minerals and BHP during 2023 demonstrated that Kalkaroo is a robust open-pit copper-gold project with no fatal flaws. With the land ownership, granted mining leases over the deposit and native title mining agreement in place for Kalkaroo, it's certainly going to help expedite the mining development in due course. And as a final point, there are quite significant associated critical metals, namely cobalt, rare earths, molybdenum and tungsten associated with the copper-gold mineralisation. Kalkaroo sits within a very prospective area. This aeromagnetic image here, on that I've plotted the locations of 8 different prospects which we've drilled, all of which we've drilled, and with multiple ore grade intercepts. So at the very least, one of these deposits, or one or more, could provide additional feed to the central processing plant, which will eventually be built here at Kalkaroo. At the best, any one of these are big enough that they could possibly turn into the next Kalkaroo. The mineralisation here is strata bound. That means it's following a particular sedimentary strata, and it wanders around the country for over 200 kilometres. And so we have a very large area to explore. All of these prospects which are identified here are very large mineralised systems. They go for kilometres, and with great potential for large deposits. And as a case in point, I just show this Uranella dome here, which is this feature here. We have some quite spectacular copper-gold intersections in 3 or 4 places. We've defined the target zone, and that's 20 kilometres long, and it has only a half a dozen drill holes into it. So you can see the magnitude of the opportunity we have out there to find more. The second copper deposit I'll talk about is Mutooroo. It's a completely different style of deposit. It's more like a Broken Hill lode. I actually have a sample over there if you want to look afterwards. It's iron sulphide, copper sulphide, just forming a massive sulphide deposit. The grade's quite good, 1.53% copper, 0.16 cobalt and 0.2 grams per tonne gold in the resource. The ore body's 2 kilometres long, and it goes to more than 500 metres depth. The geometry of the ore body is such that it can be mined initially by open cut with a decline going off the base of the open pit, winding down, mining the underground sulphide ore body. One of the good things for Havilah at the moment is we have an MOU with JX Advanced Metals Corporation, and they're a large Japanese non-ferrous metals enterprise, a basic smelting and refining company, and that's for a study program to inform an investment decision by them on the Mutooroo deposit. And to that end, over the last 6 months, they've funded $3 million worth of resource drilling, mining studies and metallurgical studies, and we've used some of those funds to drill up here at the northern end of the deposit to try and expand the resource with some good success. So this is the ore body here with a conceptual open pit, and we've been drilling in this area here, and as I said, with some quite encouraging success. Cross section through here, which is about 300 metres off the end of the current resource. We have very good intersections, like 20 odd metres of 1.6% copper and 0.3 gram per tonne gold. And so we are actually at this very moment doing a re-estimation of the ore body, and we expect with these sort of intersections outside the current resource, we'll be able to add quite considerably to the Mutooroo tonnes as we know them. The same story actually as Kalkaroo here around Mutooroo. Mutooroo sits there, there's the main highway. In our tenements, we have a number of prospects that we've drilled where we've got ore grade intercepts, and any one of these could turn into another Mutooroo potentially, but at the very least they can provide good ore feed for a processing plant that will eventually be built at Mutooroo. And all of this is about 40 minutes drive out of Broken Hill, so it's very well located. We have exposure to a very quality uranium province. In fact, it's a world-class province, the Frome Basin. We have the Beverley 4-mile ISR uranium camp up here, Honeymoon, owned by Boss Energy down here. The 3 uranium-bearing paleo channels run through our tenements, and it's sort of like almost like a strata title. I've been talking about the basement, which is all the copper gold, but here we have the ground level, the surface, we have all these paleo channels which are draining off uranium-rich rocks and which carry uranium. So we have farm-ins, so have 2 companies that have farmed into our uranium areas. They're very competent junior explorers with very good exploration teams, and we're very hopeful that they're going to find some significant uranium deposits in these paleo channels. The arrangement is that Havilah still owns all its underlying tenements, so it can continue with its hard rock exploration. And we also retain a hard rock discovery we made, a very significant hard rock discovery, uranium discovery, down near Kalkaroo, which we'll be drilling later on this year. This is an indicative planning timetable. I won't go into it in detail due to time constraints, but needless to say, plenty of action, what with our farming companies plus ourselves working around Kalkaroo and Mutooroo. And finally, in summary, Havilah owns 2 significant copper, gold, critical minerals projects, and if you just take Kalkaroo to get an idea of the value, we've indicated 3 other deposits which have been sold in recent times, which we think are very comparable with Kalkaroo, and they have sold for multiples of Havilah's current $70-odd million market cap. So that shows you the potential value which we can potentially capture in Kalkaroo if we're smart enough. Of course, the exploration drilling is increasing the resource inventory, and there again, the Curnamona Province that we're working in here lies between the Gawler Province, Gawler Craton, and the Mount Isa Cloncurry block, and it formed at the same time, and hence it should have exactly the same sort of copper deposits. It's just that the Curnamona Province hasn't been so explored. And as I've pointed out, it's a very favourable operating environment near Broken Hill and main highway. And finally, the most important thing from our shareholder point of view, we're very much focused on maximising the tangible shareholder return from this minerals portfolio, which is, as I've shown, is quite extensive. And that could include selling down project equity, e.g. in Kalkaroo, as we're doing at the present time, farm out of non-core assets like the uranium, taking equity holdings, and of course always seeking to have exploration success. JORC resource, and as always, contact us. I'll leave it on that note. Thank you.